think the best thing to do is to go back and study history. It's so strange to me that black people, for the most part, um, are Muslim or Christian in most cases, and have done no research past what other groups of people have given us. And white men and Arabs historically have treated Africans worse than anybody else on this planet. So why would we take for face value something that the people who have treated us the worst on this planet has shoveled out? And the crazy thing about it is it hasn't worked for us. You know, whether we want to admit it or not, as a whole, it has not worked out for us. So why do we continue drudging forward with something that has held so much weight on us mentally, spiritually? And because of the mental and spiritual, it reflects physical. You know, so I think figuring out who we were, and then being very honest of who we are right now. I think from that point we clean up, and then be very specific about what we want to digest mentally, physically, because what you eat manifests in who you are. And you can't think straight if you're eating the wrong thing and you're eating too much in general, and digesting something better to help us become something more powerful in the future. Because if you think about it, today is going to be the past that we can reflect on later on. You know what I'm saying? So if we start doing better right now, this past can be the foundation for a greater future. To me, it's about the people. And I try to keep as much around me that reflects the people so that I won't become self-absorbed. You know, as successful as I become each and every day, a lot of times we become so focused on ourselves that we lose ground of why we're doing it. You know, one of the things that I think our people, we don't do as a whole is we don't set mission statements. Whenever you run into business, actually I heard Will Smith and Jada, well, she's Jada Pinkett Smith now, talk about that they had a marriage mission statement. And that blew my mind. I think if more people who got married talked about what is their mission statement and just stop. Because on paper, when you get married, it's a business. You're combining two businesses. And you don't really know where you're going. Because I think if you sat down and talked about the mission statement, you might not even fucking get married. But when I see those colors, it reminds me of why I'm doing what I'm doing. But I also want to say this to people personally. One of my naturopathic healers said something so very powerful. She said that selfishness and selflessness are in actuality the same, but just vibrations that are on different ends of the spectrum. And I was like, I don't get that. That don't make no sense. If they're on two different ends of the spectrum, how can they be one? And then she broke me off. She said, you have to be selfish in order to be selfless. Because if you give when you need, then you're not giving with an open and full heart. But if you have been selfish for a while and you have things in abundance, then you're able to give selflessly. You understand what I'm saying? She said, David Banner, you're going to have to learn to take care of yourself first. And then once you take care of yourself, then you're not fighting for something, you're giving. So we don't have to beg the government. We don't have to complain about how people are doing. As if we built our own cities, built our own corporations. And the thing that I am doing is, and that I can say that I'm proud of myself, is I'm living that life. I'm not telling somebody to do something that I'm not doing. And even when you think of someone like Marcus Garvey, he built it. He didn't talk about going back to Africa. He built the fucking boats. Come get on them. You feel what I'm saying? And when I see those colors, it just reminds me of that mission.
What a beautiful space. To bleed red, to shine black and produce green. There was a wholesome sense of self-love present and a love for the people. I long for that hump day in September to allow said vessel to open and provide a healing frequency. To be black is a beautiful thing. To have pain or social deficiency to be a driving force, to be greater than the ladder that they speak of my existence, I appreciate it, for it is an extra incentive.
Yo.
So, yeah, that's how I felt when I came in.
Don't it feel good? Usually when we go to a workplace, it reflects other people. And there's this heaviness. I watched this documentary on Google, or I watched this television show on Google, and how they made a workplace that they wanted people to be excited about. I was like, yo, what if I gave that feeling for black people? You know what I'm saying? And then on the other side, if other people from other races came, they would know how I felt when we go out into their world each and every day. Because the sad thing about other races of people, especially white people, when they see our flag, they feel offended. And it don't have nothing to do with you. That's the problem. You're selfish as fuck. This is about black love. I'm not even thinking about you, to be honest with you. And in most cases, unlike most things that people complain about, when we complain about white people, it's because you've done something to us. In a lot of cases, when white people think of black people, they think of what should happen or what could happen because they know that they fucked up historically. So for me, it's just about making sure that I set a place that inspires people. I hope you were inspired when you came into the office. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh shit, this is what I can do when I get my space. Or, when I get to DC, I want my shit to feel like this, but it'll come through your filter. You know what I'm saying? Even when I worked on my new album, The God Box, and some people said that my God Boxes were one of the dopest marketing pieces they ever seen. I was like, dude, when I was signed to this big record deal and this big company, I know they had more resources than I had, but they couldn't do it, or they wouldn't do it, I should say. And it showed me that I don't think that God is such a cruel God that he, she, or it would allow you to think something that you couldn't do. It's just in most cases that we won't admit that we're not man or woman enough to step to the occasion, because I believe the only thing the Most High has to do is to provide the vision. If you have the vision, then the rest of it is on you. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But if you believe that you will live in abundance because of your service to your people, then you will too, in my humble opinion. Why is it called a God Box? I can't tell you that because that's my interpretation. If we're truly a vessel, then we'll let God work through us. And in most cases, we don't know what that means. Erykah Badu taught me to stop explaining my music, because when you explain your music, you take away the personal relationship that person has. You may get one thing from the God Box, and that was I wish I had my cover of my album so I could show you. That was one of the reasons why I even took my name off of the album. It's because it's not about me. It's about your interpretation of it. There's this book called The Alchemist. I read that book every year, and every year it means something totally different to me because of what I'm going through. So if I truly do believe that there was some divine, or that there is some divine connection, and it was able to manifest through my album, then who am I to say what it meant? I'm just honored that I was open enough to take that challenge and pick it up and run with it and present it to the world. I'm proud of the fact that I worked so hard on it, sonically, musically, vocally. Some of it was from selfishness, because I felt in so many ways that hip hop, to a certain degree, has been as elitist as our oppressors have been when it pertains to especially Southern culture. And instead of coming back and teach, a lot of people chose to take that information and that knowledge that they acquired on the backs of their Southern relatives and tease and talk down to. And since I've been able to acquire that information, I want to give it in another way. And God is also something personal. Don Miguel Ruiz said in a book that I read from him one time, he said that it's called The Mastery of Love. God doesn't need your help. And I'm paraphrasing. But Allah does. I believe that. Whether you believe, let's just say God hypothetically was Allah, right? Then whether you believe in God or not in the form of Allah, if Allah is, then you gonna find out really soon. Whatever the truth is, we will find out. Even if it's nothingness, you will find out. So why is everybody in such a rush? The problem is that so many lies have been injected into religion that most of us believe because of fear. I don't believe that God is fear. I believe God is calmness. I don't believe God is good or bad. God is everything. You know. And so, in saying that, I think you must go inward to find God. And most black people are looking outside of themselves. And that's the reason why they can never find God. I wrote a short poem too, and it don't even rhyme. I said, what if God was in your shadow and you went all around the world looking for God when he, she, or it was just waiting on you to be still? He, she, or it had always been there with you. So imagine that. If God is here, but you going everywhere. I'm talking about in the whole universe. And it's actually right here. Thank you.